Now, in this particular section of video, speaking about hell and why I think that releasing the concept is important, is because hell is judgment. Karma is, as I like to think of it, hell light, meaning it's a bitch, but you pay it back right away. So karma is sort of the belief that, and by right away I mean you don't need to suffer eternally, you just need to pay weight to weight. So if you were here in a life and you were particularly scrumptious, you gained a lot of good karma. But if you came in and you did a lot of thievery or assault or personal invasion of space, then perhaps you would believe you have karma to release, and you would need to come back and release it. Now, a lot of death of children is said to be fast-track karma release, because the spirits that are coming in as those children still hold into that belief concept of karma or hell light, and they're coming in into a body that they don't intend to inhabit very long. Could be into unsavory circumstances or just whatever, but they come in, they live very briefly, a few weeks, a few months, a few years, and they're out. And in doing so, their contractual agreement, belief, and idea is, with the energies they're working with, is they're dropping all that karmic weight so they can come back in relatively quickly into a body and entertain it. Now, it occurred recently that a friend of mine's son-in-law, ex-son-in-law, was killed in a strange accident, hit while walking in the middle of the road. And the energy that struck him, whether it was the girl that was driving or someone else that convinced her to take responsibility, doesn't matter. There was a baby between the two of them, and that baby was within a month removed from the planet. It was a very young baby, and it was shaken to death by the father who created it. And it's pretty easy to judge someone who shakes their baby to death as a villain. And we do that because we can't conceive of an innocent child being harmed. And in some cases, innocent children are supposed to be protected. And in those instances, information is availed to us that allows us to prevent the movement of the child on or off the planet, so that it can be moved into a different realm. Sometimes we're not, and even knowing something won't prevent, that from occurring. But by and large, if you're given an energy or an idea or a concept that very strongly is attached to a child, and a warning, and it's possible for you to know who the child is and deliver the warning to one or both parents, then you probably need to do that. There's an opportunity for that to change. Or it could be that you're not going to change the situation for the child or the child's safety, but you are going to make the parent aware so that when it comes time to deal with that or something comes forth, they're going to be more prepared to deal with that on a stable basis. I say all this prior to going into the hell concept because when a child leaves the planet, there is a very strong desire initially to seek any adults out that have access to that child and figure out if any of them could be held initially accountable. We like to have someone accountable, and that's that whole karma hell concept. Now, sometimes it's an accident, but people get held accountable anyway. Sometimes it's deliberate. It makes it seem very clear-cut, and we move in and we punish or reward the particular being that is closest in contact to the child. But the truth of the matter is, hell doesn't exist because people create bad actions and there needs to be a place for them to go. The concept of hell is not from the divine or the almighty God or the source or whatever energy that you find you deem all things to have originated from. It doesn't matter what you call it or what you believe that to be. Cataclysmic, interaction, a knowing being. It doesn't change anything. What you believe is just how you move about within it. There's no need to alter that. But these low spaces, these cracks, these crevices, this concept of hell exists because people choose to hold a space to stick those whose behaviors they don't like. Seldom when someone creates a concept of hell do they find all of their own actions offenses great enough to place them in that space. They have justifications or exemptions that they can create that remove them from that space. That's, self-preservation at its most complete basic space. And it's okay. Go ahead and exempt yourself because, spoiler alert, every single being is exempted. Maybe not by you, but by the creation of all. So no one's going there, at least not for long term. But the concept of it exists because those of us here that want to hold on to the idea that behaviors need to be judged by us and not just by the one that creates them, and there needs to be a form of punishment, creates the void or the space for those to fall. So if you create a coffee cup, people will come along and put things in it. You can make a coffee cup and never be the coffee that's in it, right? You could just be the maker of the cup. Do you understand what I'm saying? You've created a void. You never intend to be warm liquid that crawls in it. You are the cup. Someone else may perceive you to be warm liquid that fills their cup. And a lot of people may put all their cups together and make a tub or a vast space greater than a sea or an ocean. And all kinds of cups could be dumped in it. And they could still find themselves on the shore, correct? Or not in the vat. But the truth of the matter is, the coffee didn't make the cup. And some coffee never finds its way into a cup. It doesn't have to. So the creation of hell and the concept therein isn't created by low action. Low action gets created to fill it. If you never had a coffee mug, someone may have never created coffee. Or they would have drank it out of a dish or licked it out of a platter, but it wouldn't have been as deep or concentrated. So creation of low vibratory energy or actions, whatever you want to call it, didn't create the need for hell. Those actions came along to fill a void that those of us that won't release the void created. So if you could quit judging others, and one of the greatest ways to do that is to just turn off the news when they want to beat stories into dead horses or they want to examine all this thing. Right now, at least in Florida, there is such a concentration of energy on children and adults in hot cars. And it's as if no one ever understood the concept that the matter we've created has a heating element, the sun, that we've related to it. the sun heats objects. Closed objects heat faster than open objects because there's no movement of air. It's one of the beliefs we all share, and as long as we believe it, it's consistent. And anything left within that, especially something that breathes and draws oxygen, can't survive when the heat reaches certain levels. The truth of the matter, extreme heat will destroy radios, dashboards, cameras, other things too, but not at the same rate that a physical body dissolves. So we've had news people and parents and other people, sort of campaigning against hot cars by bringing awareness, by locking themselves in until they have physically had symptoms of heat exhaustion, which, because they believe in it, may continue long past their little trial to bring awareness to it. Frankly, I don't need to watch a video of someone sweating profusely and creating a headache, sickness, or vomiting, diarrhea from being too hot. I understand the concept. I'm not going to leave my pets or children in there because I understand the concept. It's held by so many. I cannot possibly uncreate it for myself and all the beings that exist on the plane where I'm at. That's a reality I have to endure because so many beings endure it and I'm walking on the surface. Hell I can release because it's a greater schematic than just here, and I know it doesn't exist on the Earth's surface, so releasing that for me is much easier. Doesn't mean that I've never cast a judgment or had a thought that I needed to release. I'm not walking across my swimming pool wetting only the soles of my feet, so let me make that, perfectly clear. But I am moving beyond some of the spaces that I existed in before, and in so doing, I have created the removal of that need to judge others. It doesn't mean I don't get upset with people or see a need for them to become more active or engaged in their own life or want them to be removed from my space because they make my space less comfortable. I'm not saying they can't continue their behaviors. I'm saying, not here. This is not the place where I want that behavior to be expressed. That's different than saying, you're a horrible person, you don't deserve to be here, whatever. It's like, hey, your actions and my actions, they're not copacetic. Take your actions and go somewhere else. And I've done that with many people in my life. We've all done that. I'm in the process of shifting energies again. Some trying to bring back in, some trying to shift out. Because I've gone into one of those little hamster habit trails on my grid and hit a block. And I'm having to back out of the block to go forward. And other beings followed me in those trails, and so we all have to sort of back out of those trails to go forward. This 15 minutes is about to expire. If you've had any questions about hell, or you're not ready to let go of hell and you totally disagree, of course you're not going to and you don't have to. But if you want to know more about it and you really seek to understand more about the concept, I urge you to get in touch with me. At the bottom of this video or upload, there should be contact information for me. Contact me and I can expound on it. I will create other videos that go into this in greater detail at different times, but just start toying with the idea that hell isn't there for those that sin. Hell has been created for those who want to believe sin exists and can't release the concept. I thank you again for joining me for this video, for examining some ideas and taking your mind just a little further. And you may be light years ahead of where we're at, and that's fantastic too. Thank you so much. I look forward to speaking again soon.